Hey everyone, it's been a long time. I just wanted to check in and show my face, let everyone know that everything is okay. I am 11 and a half ish years on testosterone, and no complaints there. Everything's going great. It has been a long time since I've posted, and there are a few reasons for that. There's just not much going on other than normal everyday life. And everyday life is really busy. Like it is, I can't keep up with it. To tell you the truth, it's a lot. Not bad, just a lot. Um, but I did just want to check in and let everyone know, that I'm here, I'm alive, I'm well, and just do a check in because there's so much going on right now for trans people, and it feels really bad. It feels bad. You know, the social and political stuff going on, the 400 plus anti trans bills in the United States alone. There's even seven of them in Oregon where I live, and we're like a liberal haven. It feels really bad to be a trans person right now, and to make matters worse, there's this super strange anomaly. And at this point, it doesn't even feel like an anomaly because it's happening a lot, but within the trans community where if you're not a binary trans person, meaning you don't feel very, very male or very, very female, you're getting thrown shade from people that are binary trans people. And it's, in my opinion, just so epically unacceptable. It's inappropriate. I do consider myself very binary in the trans perspective. I feel very male. There's no question about it for me. But that absolutely does not mean that that's the way to be. All identities are good, all identities are valid. And the frustrating part to me is that the reaction that is happening in the trans community, what it feels like is when more and more people started coming out as trans, and cis people felt like that somehow invalidated their identity. That's how this feels. It feels like trans people that are really binary are somehow feeling like their identities are invalidated because there's an influx of people that feel more non-binary or gender fluid. And it's just not the right way to go about it. Now, admittedly, it's challenging because we all have identities and things happen in our life that challenge those identities. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to have your identity challenged, or to, to feel like something you've worked so hard for is being invalidated by another group. But what we have to be so careful about in the trans community is remembering that all of us, whether we are binary trans individuals or gender fluid individuals or non binary individuals or literally anywhere in between, that we are all part of the same vulnerable population. And it doesn't help anyone if we are tearing each other apart from within. I mean, my gosh, everyone, look at the battles we have to fight on a much bigger level. So, you know, in situations like this, I don't have anything to say to people that are, feeling like their identities are invalidated somehow if they're not, a binary trans person, other than take some time to do some reflection and work on yourself. It's just not necessary. Um, the other thing is, like, who cares if people transition and then they don't feel like it's right and they transition back? Who cares? We're people. We're dynamic. How many things? Like, I'm 41 now. Do you know how many times I've made a decision and then changed my mind? So many. And granted, transition is a big decision, but people make big decisions all the time and then change their mind. People get to do that, and that's okay. It's not our business to try to erect some sort of roadblock for them. It's just not. So I guess what I have to say to anyone that is feeling that hate come at them from the trans community, I am sorry. That is not anything that you need on top of all the battles that you're already fighting socially and politically and within your families and your schools, within sports. It's unacceptable. And I'm sorry. Just know that, it's a small subculture of people that feel that way. At least I certainly hope so. So, I mean, that this statement is really the main reason why this, I guess more like a monologue, why I wanted to make this video, because I mean, we're all just facing such hatred right now, and I guess I wanted to just let you know that that's really normal and expected. So in any social movement, uh, there's always going to be pushback, and really pushback is a sign of progress. You know, you're not going to get pushback if you're not winning, right? You're not. No one's going to put forth the effort. So yeah, we're getting pushback because we were making progress, and we will still make progress. We can't get discouraged. We can't get hateful, but we can absolutely continue to fight for our rights, and we'll win because we're right. People are valid in all of their ways. So, it is discouraging. I definitely have felt the discouragement come in now and then, because it's frustrating, because it feels like a never-ending fight. But that that is how life is. Life is a never-ending fight across the board. There are little good things sprinkled in here and there, but it's a lot of hard work, and this situation included. So don't give up. Try not to be too frustrated. Stay on the course, and don't get distracted by the big flashiness on the side trying to distract you from the goal, which is, continue being as visible as you can when it's safe. Let people know your stories. Be the real trans person in people's life. The person that they're like, you're the person that comes to their mind when they're looking at their ballot to vote. Be the person that comes to their mind. We all can make a difference in small ways. I feel like the greatest way I have made a difference in this battle is by simply letting people know that I'm trans. And it's not like I walk around with a big trans flag, but if there's an opportunity to bring it up in a nonchalant way, I do. And then I let them see me and my life and my good example and my hard work and my happy family. And it changes people's minds. So if you are able and safe, that is a great tool that each of us have to fight this. Beyond that, we have so many skilled people, led in the legislature, lawyers, activists, all fighting for us. So it's hard, it's discouraging, and it's going to be okay. So don't give up. Beyond that, I just wanted to give you like a reason why I've been gone for so epically long. Nothing has been wrong. I had one person make a comment on a video, I don't know, maybe several months ago, that like it seems at the 10 or 11 year mark, trans people just kind of fall off the radar, and like the insinuation seemed like that they fall off the radar because something goes wrong, or they regret it, or they something epically wrong happens, and that's what happens. I'm not sure if that was the thought behind it. I tried responding to them and like asking for some research for what they were saying, and they never saw the message or didn't respond back. But anyway, I'm fine. I'm 11 and a half years onT. Everything's great. I just, honestly, the reason why I've been gone is because I burnt myself out hardcore. And I'm not talking the type of burnout where you party all night on Saturday and then you need to sleep on Sunday. I had a incredibly deep burnout that had real and serious mental and physical repercussions that I'm still working through. I think I shared with all of you during one of my last videos, which was probably like 5 years ago, when I really had a real update, that I was changing careers from electrical engineering to cybersecurity. And that sounds all great. It's really complicated when you have a family. It's really complicated when you're the main breadwinner. And it's really complicated when you're going from one highly technical field to another. And it's really complicated when your current job is a company you own. So there was it was a hard path to change careers. I went to school full time for 5 years while working full time. For 2 of those years, the 2 years I was in grad school, I was doing grad school, working full time uh, from an employer, and also was still working full time at my company, and finally sold it. And those were also the big COVID years. So, you know, I did too much for too long, um, and I damaged myself. I really did. And I'm going to be okay. Uh, and anytime you do something where you look back and you're like, oh wow, that was too much. I like to do some self-reflection and try to think, what could I have done differently? And I don't know that I could have done anything differently. I really needed to get out of my company that I was running. I had some really good reasons to get out of it, and I did. And I actually found a buyer and was able to sell my half of it, which was just magical. Um, there was no way for me to not go back to school for 5 years. I was completely changing the industry that I was working in, and there was no way for me to not work full time while running my company and doing grad school. I mean, I had to make sure that once I sold my company, I was making enough money to continue the type of life I'd been providing for my family. So, with that being said, the only way out was through. So I went through, I didn't stop, I didn't sleep, did not take good care of myself, but I finished a second undergrad, and I finished a grad degree, and I sold my company, and I have a rad job, and it's exactly what I wanted, and my family's thriving and happy. So the only thing left to check off my list is to continue doing whatever I need to do to repair myself. My physical health is yeah, and my mental health, I'm still burnt out mentally. My brain is just not the animal it used to be. It's very, very tired, but I'm getting better every day, so that's great. So I can't say for sure when I'll be here again to make an update. My wife and I, Tiff, we're actually out of town right now, staying in an Airbnb, and she went to go have lunch with some friends, and I opted to stay here. And so I have a few magical hours to myself, which is not something that happens very often. So if it happens again, and I have that opportunity, I'll definitely update you guys. If any of you are feeling particularly frustrated and down, feel free to say so in the comments. I'm happy to chat. Also, can hit me up via Instagram. You can message me there. I know that a lot of us are tired of fighting. We're scared. We're just really frustrated. Um, but just know you're not alone in it. There are a lot of us that, um, I mean, we're just rooting for you, all of you, you know, and hopefully you're rooting for all of us too. So, with that being said, I wish everyone well, and I'll talk to you all later.